All right, Dave, so we've got a little practice routine here that I would like to work on you with. We've worked hard on your distance control. Okay, we just went through the drill. We hit, a dozen shots from each of your clock methods.
Yep.
So we got that drill. So if you can go through your bag with your different wedges and you can hit all those different shots, you're really going to start to hone in the distances. Okay, so the next thing we're working on obviously is trajectory. Okay, so what I want you to think about is visualizing your trajectory based on this tower here. Okay, just move it a little in for us. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to take the same club and you're going to work on your different trajectories. Okay, and what we're talking about now is dictating impact.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got my 50-degree gap wedge. This is my versatile wedge. This is the wedge that I like to play from 100 yards in with. Okay, and everyone's going to develop a different wedge, and you'll find that in your game as well, I'm sure. Okay, but right now, if I'm aiming at that red flag, I'm looking for 3 different trajectories. Okay, so I may step up, I may press my hands a little forward. You can see obviously that's going to close the face a little bit and de-loft. Okay, so if I put that ball back in my stance and close my hands down a little bit, I'm going to get that nice low trajectory. So I'm going to get that running shot out to the pin. Okay, and that'll bring me roughly through that second trajectory tower, right? If I get a little more standard, okay, and leave those hands in a more neutral position, you'll find it's going to get up through that third ring, okay? And that's a little more standard. Now we'll talk about opening up the stance a little bit, okay? And as I open up the loft of the club and open up the stance a little bit, I can hit that higher, softer shot, okay? So with this club, I've gained myself 3 trajectories, and that'll give me more versatility when we talk about, obviously, selecting the type of shot that we want to hit.
Yep.
Does that seem to make sense?
Sounds great.
Want to hit some shots through the trajectory
Yeah,
tower?
I do.
Perfect.
I think the hardest thing... Oh, this wasn't bad.
Yep. Got nice and aggressive on it, which is good. You're hitting down, which is what we want to be doing, obviously, when we're trying to get the golf ball up in the air. Do you like to open up your stance?
I always have.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it just is something. I think my old pro on my old course did it.
Okay.
And I was just like, that looks pretty cool. It kind of makes sense in my mind. I don't know why you're doing it, but let's just do it. And,
All right.
And from anything from 80 and in, I usually have a little
Slightly
bit of
open
an open
stance.
stance. I think it helps me kind of just get through it.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, it's important for comfort, and that's certainly not abnormal for people to be opening the stance.
Yeah.
Okay, what you want to understand is what's happening when you do open the stance. Okay, as I turn my body away from my target line,
Yep.
okay, which is exactly what you're doing, right? We're opening up the body from the target line. It's important that we stay consistent with how we're striking the golf ball. So as I do that, I want to leave the club face facing towards the target. All right, that's very important. If I close that club face down and I hit it where my feet are, obviously we've got some issues with that. Okay, but when I do this and when I open up, I'm adding loft to the golf club, and that's important to understand. Okay, so as you want to hit the ball in the air more, you can open up your stance a little more. It's going to add a little loft to the golf club, which is exactly what I was doing, right? When I open up the stance, swing across that ball a little bit, you get that higher, softer ball flight.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I close my stance down more, right, that gives me the ability to compress it, keep the hands in front a little more, and that gives you that lower trajectory shot, right? So you can start to play with that stance a little bit. You don't always have to be open, okay? If you close it down a little bit, it's going to be easier to hit that lower shot. And when you do open it up, it'll give you the feel to hit the higher shot. Okay? A little bit heavy, but we're out. Okay, so what do we need to think about on this second shot?
Just try and swing more with my feet.
Okay.
Try and scoop the ball a little bit more
Yep.
and not so much down.
You were very down on that. I liked your angle of attack though. Maybe we were just a little bit too close to the ball with how much sand we took. Looks like you got about 2 inches deep there, so that's what held that club up through impact. All right, we can maybe take a step back just a tiny bit and let that club flow through the sand a little easier. Ah, there it is. You see all that just tiny adjustment, right?
Pops out.
Just a tiny adjustment helps you big there. That was good. It was a good adjustment, all right?
Awesome.
Excellent.